Hey everyone, welcome back to the Home Stretch. I'm Nina Soden, Realtor, Associate Broker, and Team Leader of the Soden team at Legend Realty.
And I'm Kat Frisby, your favorite tattooed mortgage loan officer with Victorian Finance.
Today we're diving into something we get asked about all the time, especially by investors or homeowners thinking about buying their first rental property. How to analyze a property's cash flow potential.
And just to set expectations right out of the gate, we're not financial advisors or CPAs. This is educational based on what we see every day in real estate and lending.
Exactly. And cash flow is one of those terms that sounds intimidating, but it really just means one simple thing. Does this property put money in your pocket every month, or does it take money out of your pocket?
So let's start with the definition. Cash flow is the money left over after all of your expenses are paid, not just the mortgage.
Right. Positive cash flow means the rent covers your expenses and you still have money left. Negative cash flow means you're paying out of pocket each month.
And breaking even is still a thing, but for most investors, the goal is positive cash flow and long-term appreciation.
Okay, the first step, and this is where I come in as a realtor, is that you have to know what the property can realistically rent for, not what you hope it rents for.
Yes, please don't use the highest Zillow number you've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. We look at comparable rentals. Same size, similar location, similar condition. If a home needs updates, your rent expectations need to reflect that.
And overestimating rent is the fastest way to convince yourself a bad deal is a good one. The second step is knowing your monthly payment. This includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and possibly HOA dues.
And this is where working with a lender early in the process really matters. Your interest rate, loan type, down payment, and insurance can dramatically change the numbers.
So two buyers can purchase the same house and have a very different cash flow outcomes depending on the financing.
Absolutely. All right, step 3, the part most people forget. You need to account for all expenses, and that isn't just the mortgage.
You need to factor in things like maintenance and repairs, vacancy, property management if you're not self-managing, utilities if applicable, HOA fees, and future capital expenses like roofs or HVAC systems.
A common rule of thumb is setting aside 10 to 20% of rent for maintenance and vacancy, depending on the property.
Because something will break. Always.
Always. All right, step 4 is running the numbers. Once you have rent and expenses, the math is pretty simple.
So monthly rent minus monthly expenses equals your cash flow.
If you're renting the property for, say, $1,800 per month and your total monthly expenses are $1,500, that's $300 in positive cash flow.
Even if expenses are $1,900, congratulations, you just bought yourself a monthly bill of $100.
Cash flow isn't the only factor. Step 5 is looking beyond the monthly number.
Right. You also want to consider appreciation potential. So things like tax advantage, loan pay down over time, and rent growth in that area.
Some properties don't cash flow strongly in year 1 or even year 2, but they still make sense long term, especially in strong markets like North Alabama.
So now let's talk about some common mistakes you'll want to avoid. The biggest mistake I see is people who underestimate their expenses.
The second biggest mistake is falling in love with the property instead of the numbers.
This is an investment, not a feelings-based purchase.
And finally, not building in a buffer. If the deal only works when everything goes perfectly, it's not a solid deal.
Cash flow analysis doesn't have to be complicated, but it does need to be honest.
And the best way to do this is by working with a realtor and a lender who understand investment property numbers, not just primary residence.
Because the right guidance can save you from a very expensive mistake.
And if you're considering buying a rental or want help running numbers on a property, reach out to us. We are happy to walk through it with you.
Thanks for tuning in to the home stretch. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time on the home stretch.